We will call to order the regular board meeting of the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago. Good morning. My name is Maricel Hernandez. I'm the chair. And with me today is Commissioner William Cressy.
Present.
And Commissioner June Brown.
Present.
Great. Next item on the agenda is the consideration of the agenda. Any proposed changes? If not, we'll proceed with the approval of the regular board meeting minutes of May 10th, 2022. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is the Executive Director's Report. Mr. Holliday.
Morning, Madam Chair, Commissioner
morning.
Brown and Commissioner Cressy. As you know, our super site at 191 North Clark will be opening on this Thursday at 9 a.m. The week delayed because of the vote that was taken by City Council to remove the referendum off the ballot. So there will be no referendum for map redistriction on our ballot. I participated in various staff meetings on printing of forms and envelopes, vote by mail, planning, cartage, delivery of tables and chairs, on meetings with the United States Postal Service and Henley's on ballot delivery, as well as with our equipment vendor, Dominion. Along with Jane Lau, our Chinese language outreach coordinator, we attended the Coalition for a Better Chinese American Community anniversary, celebrating its founder, C.W. Chan, and other honorees. We were able to do a little networking and keeping a great relationship that we have. And Jane was able to recruit some judges as well. Along with our General Counsel, Adam Lasker, our Public Relations Director, Max Bever, Audra Lewicki, Manager of Community Service Department. We had video conference with members of the following community groups: Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Alliance of Filipinos for Immigrants, Rights and Empowerment, Chicago Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, Hannah Center, Indo-American Center, South Asian American Policy and Research Institute. We discussed language access for Chicago voters, especially as we're leading up to the June 28th primary, and just to keep our open line of communication and keeping a good relationship with them. The rehab work at 1819 at our warehouse has stopped. A date to resume has not been established. So we talked about a site to replace the United Center for an election day site. We do have a location, 240 North Ashland. This site is available for election day, and it's a site where it's move-in ready. All we have to do is set the machines up and plug them up. So if the board is still interested in an additional election day voting site, this is available, and it's not that far from the United Center. So that ends my report, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. I have a question. Oh, I have a question about the North Ashland site. Where is that again? What was it, or what was housed there?
I can't remember exactly what our site coordinator told me it was, but I have some pictures I can show you. It has a large parking lot. It's handicap accessible, and it can hold up to 100 touch screens.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Good. I'm glad. Well, I think we definitely will use, we do want a universal voting center on election day. There's no question about that. So if it's centrally located and
Yes.
accessible, has parking, that is wonderful. Okay, good. Commissioner Cressy?
Madam Chair, just you mentioned, Charles, that the United Center is close, and you said there's a large parking lot there. Is it close enough they could use maybe the United Center parking lots if necessary?
No,
Or
this
will it be
parking
necessary?
lot, this parking lot is right next door to this facility. So
And-
they wouldn't have far to travel. Come out of the parking lot, go right into the building.
And the L is just on the next block too. And there's, I believe, a stop at the Lake Street L at Ashland.
That is
I forget what.
correct.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's quite quite convenient. Good job.
Yeah,
Thank you. Well, give the credit to our facility coordinator, Dean Fatikas. He's out working hard for us. So I would thank him as well.
Please. Commissioner Brown, did you have a question?
no, you both asked the question that I was interested in, so
Okay.
I'm covered.
Okay, thank you. I do have one other question. You mentioned, was it the
1819
19 Persian.
Persian,
Yeah.
yeah, where our warehouse is at. Rehab was going on and it has stopped. I think there's some questions about the cost, but they haven't gotten back to us or even started doing any more rehab on the spot. So just as I learn, I will let you know exactly what's going on with that.
Okay, okay, thank you. Please do. Are there any further questions, follow-up? Okay, if not, then we will hear from our Assistant Executive Director, Sandra Espera. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. And good morning, Commissioners. First
Good morning.
off, I'd like to let you know that Election Central Training is Sunday, June 26th, and my goal for staffing is 55 people. The pre-election logic and accuracy testing for the super site will start today, and I will be participating after this meeting. The total processed vote by mail applications is 86,995. The correct cumulative total of military and overseas ballots was sent was 296. There will be a total of 91 nursing home participating for this primary election. A total of 7,443 election judges are assigned, of which 556 are high school students. As previously reported, this past Friday, May 20th, was the deadline for the parental consent. The pending election coordinator totals is 1,401 and 303 are currently assigned. The mock election now will take place over 2 days. ESNS will hold its mock election on Friday, May 27th, and Dominion will hold its mock election on June 1st. The purchasing department has ordered additional PPE supplies, masks, and hand sanitizers in light of the fact that the COVID virus numbers are going from low to medium and continue to rise. And finally, I will be at the warehouse this Friday, May 27th.
Thank you.
That is my report.
Are there any questions?
Oh, very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Espera. And now we'll go to our Public Information Director, Mr. Bever.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Well, we are keeping busy with communications over the next 5 months, or I'm sorry, 5 weeks. And right now, there's a lot of paper about to go out the door. The second canvas notice following up with the voters whose addresses bounced back, that went out at the end of last week to approximately 140,000 voters following up with their voter registration ahead of this next election. And we have the polling place mailer going out to approximately 1.1 million households by June 9th, telling people of their polling place information. Also have a series of press releases planned going out every week up until the election. The upcoming ones for the next 2 weeks are another call for election judges, the opening of the super site on Thursday, as well as making myself available and others for media availability on Thursday. The opening of ward early voting come June 13th. And I'm actually hoping to get a couple stories about our new stickers as well. I think I've got Block Club and a couple of interested. People seem to enjoy that wristbands are going away and the stickers are coming back. So I'm hoping to capitalize off of that and keep pushing our election deadlines and messages too. We have a lot of digital ads that just started, both in La Raza, Chicago Reader, other ones set to start in Sun Times, both in Spanish and English, reminding people about early voting at start days and also to click for more information and all of the early voting sites. And I'll be following up with staff, all the rest of the legal notices, as well as all of our minority language publications will be going out in the next 2 weeks as well, before the deadline of the election. And that is it for communications.
One thing, Max,
Mhm.
good job on picking the winner of the Preakness. A horse named Early Voting. If you didn't have money on that horse, I feel sorry for you.
That's great.
You should know early voting is a winner and always will be. So,
I'm going to steal those talking points, Commissioner.
okay, thank you.
Matt, quick
Mhm.
question. You stated some of the newspapers that are in. Were you able to get anybody from the Defender or Crusader, or is the Reader going to cover that?
I am following up. I will have ads and notices in the Defender and the Reader. Actually, Commissioner, I'm happy to send you just a list of where everything's going, just for your
Okay.
knowledge base. But we did a very wide breadth this time around, including in a lot of community publications in Chinese and Hindi, Polish, and Spanish ahead of the election. So I'll send you the full list.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
And then I see.
And
Oh, I'm
if-
sorry.
No, if any of either one of the commissioners have suggestions for additional uh, newspapers, or please let Max know.
Will do.
I did forget one thing, but I see Betty and Helene on the call, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak at your meeting on Saturday too. And Betty, thanks for your lovely introduction. But it was great to spend that time with dedicated people and to remind everybody of how quickly this election's coming up. So thank you again, and look forward to continuing to work with you on the next 3 in a row. So
Great.
That just reminded me, though, I was going to ask if this was not covered already, Ms. Aspera, the number of election judges and how many, where we are right now, and how many more do we need?
16, 17, 27.
You're absolutely right. No, I did,
I might have missed it. Yeah.
so we have 7,443 election judges assigned.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
Just how many more do we need?
Well, if
many
the
more?
goal is 10,000, then it
Okay.
would be around
Around
2,000.
2,600?
2,600, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I also have a question for Assistant Director. You gave us a number on the number of vote by mail applications that we've received. How does that track with the November 2020 election?
Oh, big
Way down, right?
Oh, way down.
Yeah.
Definitely. We're at probably 20 something percent.
Okay.
Oh,
We still got a couple of weeks to go, but yeah, that was my impression. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, and I guess I would go back to Mr. Bever, our communications director, and ask, what additional efforts are we making to increase the number of vote by mail applications. Mr. Bever, are you there? Yep,
did we miss it? Yeah.
I think.
Probably
He
stepped
might have
away for some late breaking
There he
news.
is.
Oh, and he's
There
back.
he is.
no, I
Oh,
apologize.
okay.
What was the question? I apologize.
We were talking about the low number of vote by mail applications compared to the 2020 election. And the question is, what efforts are we making to put out there vote by mail opportunities for voters?
We definitely made a bigger push when it first was available in March and April. I think we can do a few more reminders. As Sandra and Charles have let me know, this is The numbers are closer to 2018, but we still want to push this as an option for people. I think as soon as we see what early voting starts to look like, though, too, I think we'll know how much more follow-up we're going to have to do on both of those accounts. So I'll put that on the list, continuing to remind both on social media and do another short press release for media.
Right, right, because there is a deadline. Well, there is a deadline to apply for a vote by mail application. The problem is that runs so close to election day. That's why we're always pushing to get vote by mail applications as early as possible. So let's see what we can do with that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay. If not, then we will proceed to old business, infrastructure projects and changes in election administration, electronic poll books and voting equipment. Anything there? I assume that everything's going, any testing, is going ahead?
Well, the super site, they're doing their logic and accuracy testing today at the super site, and then starting tomorrow, they're going to do at the warehouse the the rest of the early voting locations logic and accuracy testing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Legislation, Mr. Lasker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Illinois General Assembly is still not in session, does not have their schedule posted, so nothing at this time on legislation.
Okay, thank you. We'll then proceed to new business, and the only item on the agenda is an attorney contractor agreement with Joan T. Agnew, attorney at law. And, I know for a fact that Joan has been at the board far longer than I have, which is my 16 years. And I've dealt with Joan on a number of issues, and Joan has a wealth of information, and she has always provided us with great advice. I really appreciate all the counsel she has provided the board on a variety of issues. Her contract expires at the end of this month, and so I would entertain a motion to approve a contract with Joan Agnew as board counsel for the period June 1st of 2022 through May 31st, 2023 at the rate of $265 per hour.
Madam Chair, I have been with the board as commissioner, before that hearing officer, and an attorney at Election Central, and I have often been a thorn in Joan's side. Nonetheless, she has always provided exceptional counsel, and I gladly make the motion.
And I as well. I don't know if I've been a thorn like Cressy, but I have often sought her counsel through the Election Central, as well as now as a new commissioner and ethics. So I heartily second the motion for this contract.
Thank you. And given the two enthusiastic motions, can you please state aye?
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Motion passes, and the contract is approved. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a legal report. Mr. Lasker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this point, we're continuing to track some electoral board cases. There's only, I think, 2 or 3 more that we don't have decisions in yet. There was a hearing yesterday in a first congressional case, but I haven't heard a result from the State Board of Elections yet. But as I did notify you yesterday, the Circuit Court reversed the decision of the Cook County Officers Electoral Board in the county sheriff race with candidate Carmen Navarro-Garcon. So her name has been placed back onto the ballot. So we'll be moving forward accordingly. We attended some meetings with our paper ballot printers last week, And they had told us that May 26th, this Thursday, is kind of the cutoff for us to finalize ballots and get to them. So if any changes are made to cases with candidates coming back on or off, after that point, it's a little questionable. Depending on the circumstances, it'll be questionable as to whether it would be too late to make the change or even whether there's enough paper to reprint if the whole second press run has to happen. As we all recall, there is a national paper shortage going on. We do have adequate paper supply for the June primary, but not necessarily 200% of what we need. So we'll continue to monitor. It might get to the point where if anybody has to be removed from the ballot rather than reprinting, we might just have to notice them off and suppress their votes, not count their votes, because it may be just impossible by then to reprint. Luckily, the attorneys handling that countywide sheriff's case are experienced election attorneys, and they've already this morning filed their notice of appeal to the appellate court. So the electoral board's decision is final now by the circuit court ruling, but subject to this appeal. Luckily, right now, the status quo is that the candidate's name is on the ballot, so we'll just continue moving forward that way. We're prepared to open early voting on Thursday and get those vote by mail ballots out. So that's my legal report for now.
Okay. Any questions? If not, thank you, Mr. Lasker. We have no financial report today. Trish, do we have any public comment?
No, we do not have any requests for public comment.
Okay. And Mr. Lasker, I believe we have a need for executive session today.
That's correct, Madam Chair. Pursuant to Section 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act to discuss probable and imminent litigation.
Okay. Then let me entertain a motion to go into executive session under Section 2C11, probable or imminent litigation. Is there a motion?
So moved, Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Motion passes. I would like to let the public know that we have conducted all of our business for today's meeting, except for this executive session. I don't know if pursuant to the executive session, we would have any motions relating to this issue of litigation. But if we do, we will take that up in open session and then adjourn. So as of right now, we're going to move to executive session. Anyone who wishes to stay in this particular window can stay, and then we'll be back once we're done with executive session. Okay?
Madam Chair, could I just say that Max Beaver did an excellent presentation at the League of Women Voters. He did not give himself proper credit. It was
Okay.
absolutely
Thank you.
awesome.
Aw, thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
It's always nice to hear. And thank you, Max.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Matt.
Then we have, the three commissioners have to exit here, right? Or can we
Right.
stay? Yeah.
You
okay.
should have received an invitation to a separate
Yes.
WebEx meeting this morning. So we'll
I
log
did.
out of the meeting, go to that meeting, and then later we'll come back to this one to adjourn.
Got it. Okay. Okay, thank you. We are now back in open session, and it's 10:55 a.m. There was no action taken by the commissioners in executive session. Mr. Lasker, commissioners, Mr. Holliday, is there any further business before the board today?
None that I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Okay, given that, is there a motion to adjourn to our next regularly scheduled board meeting?
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Seconded by Commissioner Brown.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye. I guess I'm
Okay.
ready to go.
Boy, you're really heading to the door.
Okay, motion passes and we are adjourned. Thank you for everything and see you at the next board meeting.
Take
you.
care, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
You too.